Welcome back to the Allegheny Health Network Nightly Sports Call. Josh Taylor, Ron Cook, we're here. We're taking your phone calls. 412-575-2600 is the number. Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's go to Dawn in Allison Park. Dawn, you're on the Nightly Sports Call. You there, Dawn?
Yeah, I'm here.
What you got for me?
Hey, question. Penn seem to have the talent, but there's nothing been addressed about the speed of the Nashville Predators.
Okay, what's your question?
Do you think the Predators have a little more speed than the Pens?
I think they have more speed than we expected. And thank you for the call.
I think they have a better defensive core. They're really good. They're the best in the league, and they make it tough on you. But when the goaltender struggles like he struggled last night, it really doesn't matter. I think the Penguins score 3 goals most nights are going to win. Last night they got 4, while the empty net 5. But the Nashville defense, they've shut down the top scorers of every team they've played. Patrick Kane, Tarasenko in St. Louis, Getzlaf in Anaheim. Every team they've played, they've shut down the top scorers. And at least now, Crosby and Malkin, I think both have 2 points. That's what Patrick Kane got in the whole series for Chicago.
I think to answer that question a little bit more succinctly, I think Nashville does have good speed. Do I think their speed is better than the Penguins? No. But I do think their defense has better speed than the teams that they've faced. I think their defensemen are more skilled, especially in more of a number, than the teams that the Penguins have faced. They have 4 different guys that can get after you. You have Ellis, they have Subban, they have, I'm trying to think, it's Roman Josi is another one.
Josi's the best one they have.
Subban
gets all the attention, but Josi's a better player.
And I'm trying to, the fourth one escapes me right now, but you have 4 really good defensemen. I think Chris Kunitz said it before the series. You go from facing Erik Karlsson to facing a team that might have 4 Erik Karlsson. So that maybe is what makes Nashville.
What's the guy's name? Matthias
Ekholm, thank you.
Ekholm. He's the one that had the own goal last night.
Right, that was off of Nick Bonino's stick. So that's the 4 that we're dealing with defensively. And those are all very talented, very skilled players. So compared to what they faced coming into the playoffs, yes, Nashville has a different roster makeup than the teams that they faced. And honestly, their defensemen are about as aggressive as the Penguins are as far as their ability to jump into the rush. And they will come down and make plays inside between those circles, just like the Penguins defensemen do. Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's go to Tim in Mount Pleasant. Tim, you're on the Nightly Sports Call. Tim, you there?
Yes, I am.
What you got for me?
Thanks for taking my call, first-time caller.
Appreciate you.
But I just want to let know that was everybody watching the singing? I was yesterday. The Penguins are too fast, too big, too strong. They should win in 4 games. If not, I call it a loss.
That's great. If they win in 5, you won't be happy, huh? They'll win in 7 in triple overtime and be thrilled about it. So Nashville didn't get here by accident. They got hot down the stretch. I know they were the 16th seed. I saw a stat the other day, though. The final 25 games, they had 1 more point than the Penguins had over those final 25 games. Even though the seeds, Penguins are 2, they're 16. They've earned their way here. They beat a really good Chicago team. St. Louis, okay. Anaheim, strong. I like the Penguins to win, too, but to say they're going to win in 4, you'll be disappointed. Man, I don't see that.
I admire Tim's optimism.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much where it ends for me. Ron pretty much laid it out for me.
They're very good.
Nashville might have been the 16th seed in this tournament, but there's a reason why they're the first one to get to the final, because they weren't as good as your average 16th seed. They were far better than the 16th seed.
Plus the fact they're almost unbeatable at home.
Exactly.
They've lost 1 game. Anaheim beat them in 1 of the games at home in the playoffs. They're virtually unbeatable. It would serve the Penguins well tomorrow night to win again, go up 2-0. Then I don't know that Nashville's going to beat them 4 out of 5. But if they split these first 2, then the edge goes back to Nashville because they're so strong at home.
And they're capable of stealing one on the road. This is a team that's now 5-4, having lost last night. They're still 5-4 on the road in this postseason, too. So they're capable of stealing a game here.
I'm really looking forward to getting down to Nashville. I think it's going to remind me, when the Penguins first became good in the early 90s and won those cups, this town went crazy. It was new. It was exciting. And I think that's the way it is in Nashville. Not that it's still not exciting here now, but when it's the first time, they tell me the experience is just awesome down there. And I don't think it'll affect the Penguins. They're not going to be intimidated, but I do think that crowd gives the home team a lift, just like the arena crowd here gives the Penguins a lift. So I'm looking forward to getting down there. I think it's going to be fun. Nashville's a wonderful city.
Totally agree with you. And we got a couple friends down in Nashville, too. A couple friends in the radio. Our old buddy from 93.7 The Fan, John Burton's in Nashville.
He's down there,
From them as well. Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's go to Andy in Evansburg. Andy, you're on the Nightly Sports Call. Andy, how are you?
Good.
What you got for us?
Well, I just wanted to make a comment on the game yesterday. I mean, even though Pittsburgh didn't have a shot in 37 minutes, I don't know, maybe you can help me out here. I don't know what the normal amount of shots that Nashville has. I mean, they only had 27 shots for the game. They controlled the game, but it didn't seem like they had that many.
I think they only had 21, didn't they?
Only had 21. The Penguins only had 12.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of great scoring chances. No, they didn't. It was, but obviously after the first period, they kind of dominated the play.
Right. I have a suggestion, too. I don't know if when you're playing baseball, when there's a pop-up to the catcher, he flips his mask. I've never seen anyone put it when they have a dump in toward the goalie in the air. I just like to see that to see how they would play it.
Actually, there were one or two. Thanks for the call. There was one play last night. I believe one of the defensemen did actually make a play to try to get it up ice. It was on a penalty kill. He actually did get the puck up in the air. But there's the reason why that's dangerous is because if you put it up in the air and it goes over the glass,
that's what Subban did last night. He got a delay of game penalty.
That's a delay of game penalty, and it's 2 minutes. That's why you don't see it happen very often, because it's a big risk if it goes over the glass. In the meantime, we got to take a break. When we come back, we will wrap up here on the Nightly Sports Call. Stay with us.